It's a shock now, but actually it's been on the cards for a while, sort of thing, regarding Martin's wife, and I knew that if things weren't okay, that he would be looking to take time out. So we've known for a while that it might happen, but it's still a shock to the system, yeah.
Why have you and John decided to leave as well?
Well, I've always worked for Martin. I mean, I've not really worked for another manager, and I don't think I would want to, unless he said he didn't want me to work for him anymore. Then I'd have to. But at this present time, I wouldn't want to work for no one else.
Do you have any future plans?
No. We just keep our fingers crossed and hope Geraldine recovers, and then, if that's the case, and I'm sure Martin will come back to work somewhere.
Tell us about the 5 years that you've had here. How have they been for you?
They've been fantastic. When we first come up, obviously, we was a long way off Rangers from the season before, and the first season was just unbelievable. But then you've continue it on, and you're still challenging for all the honours, and the European nights have been fantastic.
Do you think you've changed Celtic in any ways?
I don't know about changing Celtic. I mean, Celtic's been here for years, and it's always been a massive club. I just think what we've done, I thought we brought some decent players to the club, and they've proved really, really successful.
Do you think you're leaving Celtic in good hands?
Yeah, I do. There's people saying, oh, it's an ageing team and they've all grown old together, but they're still good players, and they still do a hell of a job for the football club.
Gordon Strachan, of course, has been appointed the new manager. What do you make of that appointment?
Yeah, I mean, he's a proven manager. He's fiery. He's a mad jock, so that might go down well with some people. So, he's a quality manager.
Obviously, after the huge disappointment of Sunday, you want the Scottish Cup now. The fans want it, but all of a sudden, has this become about Martin?
No, it's about us winning the cup, and I've never felt so low in all my life as I did on Sunday, and I don't want to feel that low again, especially as our last competitive game. But it's all about them boys getting something that they deserve, and they've deserved more than just that cup this season.
Have you found it difficult to lift the players this week?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty low, which, I mean, we're all low the way it happened, and but they know it's a cup final, so.
I'm kind of sensing from you, Steve, that you're quite sad about this whole thing.
Of course I'm sad. I mean, it's 5 years of my life been here, and I mean, my family's enjoyed the time. My little boy's been at school up here, and he's made lots of friends. My wife's enjoyed it, and so have I. I mean, it's been a nice place to live as well as work here. So it'd be a wrench to go back home, yeah.
Jim, do you think that was the correct decision for Steve Frank earlier in the week to chat about his thoughts for this coming Saturday? But first, he asked Frank what the opposition was like in 1985.
Dundee United were a very good team. They'd won the league 2 years previous, and they always done well in Europe, as I said, because they had a defence of Gough, Hegarty, Neri and Malpass, which is as good a defence as you're going to get in Scottish football. So it was very, very hard to break down.
And they also got off to the best start because Stuart Beattie scored for them, so you were 1 down.
Oh, we were 1 down, and Dundee United were controlling the game, and we weren't really in the game. We struggled to even, to get chances in the game. And after Stuart Beattie scored, then we were in trouble. But I think midway through the second half, Jim McLean took off Stuart Beattie and brought on a defensive midfield player, and that gave us a boost. Because the boys were then saying, well, he's happy with 1-0, and then Davy Hay tactically was good in the game. He brought on, he put Roy Aitken into midfield and took off Paul McStay, I think, and Roy then started to control the midfield, and we started to go forward, and then we started to create chances.
Fine free kick by Davy Provan, first of all.
A magnificent free kick by Davy Provan. He put it right into the top corner, and Hamish McAlpin had absolutely no chance. And I always remember Archie McPherson, his commentating before it, saying there's never been a free kick scored in a cup final. Could this be the one bump goal?
Come on now, Frank, was it a fluke header, or did you really mean to put it where you put it?
I just remember Paul Hegarty heading the ball out to Roy Aitken. Roy was everywhere in the second half, the last 15 minutes. Great energy, Roy, great player to play with. He put a cross in, he just got a hold of the ball and put it in early, and I just ran for the box. Terrible cross because it was about 15 yards out. I like my balls about 4 yards out, so it's easy goals. He put it 15 yards out. The one good thing about the cross was it was an early cross. So their defenders couldn't get back, and I just flew for it, hoping I could get my head to it. And then when I headed it, I got a really good header on it, and I said to myself, my first instinct was that's got a chance, but I was actually falling to the ground, and I was the last person in the park to know that it was a goal because I was still falling to the ground, up and down. I said I've scored, and I couldn't believe it. I just seen the ball nestling in the back of the net, and a fantastic feeling. The sun was shining, 2 minutes to go. My contract was up. I was hoping to get a new contract. I said, that's done it.
And 3 days later?
3 days later, Davy said, Frank, you're up for sale.
Tell me, how will the Celtic players feel after losing a league in such shattering circumstances on Sunday?
Well, it is shattering. I'm very seldom, shattered myself about football, but the game, I was in disbelief for about 10 minutes after it. What happened, it'll take a lot for the players to try and rise to a cup final, but they're experienced players. They've come back from things before, and I think we've got good players. We've got Bellamy up front, we've got good forwards, so we can score goals. But the defence really, they're struggling just now. They're letting in a lot of goals. But I think the players, I think there's enough character in the team. Martin O'Neill as well has got plenty of character, and I think there's enough character in the squad. The Celtic will do well on Saturday.
And a prediction?
Well, every time Celtic played Dundee United in cup finals, it's usually 2-1. The history shows that. Dundee United usually score first and Celtic then score 2. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Celtic with Dundee United to score first.
Oh, you had to score it in style with that diving header.
But it was a marvellous day up there.
I bet you erupted, didn't you, Mark?
We did, yeah. As you can see the scenes at the back of the goal there. It was just fantastic. I think everybody thought, we've got ourselves back into the game. We'll win it in extra time, but then something like that happens and